I am the proud daughter of not one, but two civil rights babies. They marched with Dr. King, they were jailed with Dr. King. They endured some really heavy things in their days. And so as my parents are approaching their later years, it's really important to me to carry on the legacy of their work. I recognize that I stand on their shoulders and so many others in the work that we do. I didn't enter into this role lightly because I knew the gravity of what I was accepting the role in doing. I am Dr. Aisha Rousseau. I'm the city's Chief Equity Officer. Equity is defined as race and other social identities are not able to be used to predict life outcomes and or impact the quality or depth of services received in the city. The mayor's vision for the office is to ensure that we are embedding equity into every decision that we're making here in the city, such that it's not just a program, it's not just an afterthought, but it's embedded into the work that we do here. That means a couple of things. One, if you're a city employee, you should know that equity and anti-racism is at the forefront of our thinking when we are talking about our departments and our agencies. For anyone coming to access our services, it means that it doesn't matter who you are or where you've come from, you can expect to receive quality services and programs when you come in to seek help in the city and county of Denver. The goals of our office are really pretty easy. Four main things. One, it's really important that our staff is able to utilize their skills and training to help influence policies, budgets, program decisions throughout the city. The second one is to train all our city staff so that everyone in the city has the same language as it pertains to this work, to inform our decisions that we're making out of this office using data and evidence-based practices, and then to ensure that we're working with the community to help inform our decisions. An example of how equity is embedded into city operations, as many people know, as we've been in this pandemic, equity was at the forefront of every decision that was made, and that's particularly highlighted when we consider vaccination rollouts, making sure that particularly communities of color who had been particularly impacted by COVID were addressed initially. A part of the Emergency Operations Center was identifying neighborhoods in Denver where there are particularly Black and brown communities, and how the word would get out to those families to ensure that they would be the first individuals to be able to receive vaccinations. That particularly targeted individuals of color who were over 65 and also living with disabilities. And then that even led to an additional endeavor to make sure that individuals with disabilities who were in their homes, who were unable to leave their homes, were able to receive vaccinations in their homes. Denver was the first city in Colorado to launch that, and many other cities, including the state, follow the plan that we had put in place to enact that, and they just use it as a model. And it's an example of how equity can be embedded in all of our decisions. There are two main pieces of legislation that was passed. The first piece of legislation is aligning our practice of Denver as a welcoming city, and so we eliminated the term illegal alien and we replaced it with worker without authorization. The other one is banning workplace discrimination based on natural hairstyles. Some at the state level know this as the Crown Act, and by natural hairstyles, we mean someone's natural curls, braids, locks. For a period of time, it was either accepted practice or illegal, particularly for African Americans, to be able to wear their natural hair as opposed to adding an additional process to be able to wear it. And so this piece of legislation says, wear your natural hair as you would like it, as it grows out of your head, and you will not be discriminated against. When we talk about equity in city government, Denver is leading the charge in determining what is this going to look like within city government. I think it's important to note that in the history of Denver, there have been previous mayors that may have addressed equity as programs or as one-off items. This is the first mayor who has said it's important enough that we embed equity in everything that we do. I believe that we are create a legacy that can't be erased. It's overdue time for local government to address racism and inequities and how local government has been culpable for these inequities. And so a lot of this work is oftentimes correcting historical wrongs, but it's also making sure that as we go forward that we are leading the way on how to do it right. And who better to do that than Denver, who is known as a world-class city.
For more stories, check out Denver's YouTube page or tune in to Denver8.tv.